of course, like I'm a homer. I'm not going to ignore that.
What do they see in this guy? This guy sucks.
Prepare yourself for the Raptors Report podcast with your hosts, Julian and Steve.
Hello, Raptors fans, and welcome back to the Raptors Report podcast. I am your host, Julian, and with me, as always, is Steve, a.k.a. Raptors Shack. It is the 9th of February, and we are here talking about Jakob Poeltl potentially re-entering the Toronto Raptors lineup. It's been 84 years. We also have a new Eastern Conference that we've got to take a look at because things have changed. The trade deadline shifted some things around. Teams are hot. Teams are moving up in the standings. Teams are moving down. We'll take a look at that. We are going to discuss Wednesday's game against the Detroit Pistons because the Toronto Raptors have not faced them yet. It is the final game before the All-Star break. Lots to discuss there. We're going to talk about Trayce Jackson-Davis, who had a really nice debut with the Toronto Raptors. We are going to be talking maybe about tanking. I know that's not everyone's favorite topic, including mine. So I'm going to go on a bit of a rant there. So stay tuned for that. And lots of stuff. We got a great show for you today. Steve, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. We're coming into, we're still on this home stretch, right? Which is, it's going a bit better than expected considering the record that we've
Timberwolves
had.
Game. Oh, yeah. That Timberwolves game, man. If I could have one game back, that would be
honestly. But there is a silver lining there that they've been in a lot of these games to start, like in against the Knicks, in against the Timberwolves, which are teams that have finals aspirations. So they've shown that they can compete against them, but just can't keep it together and put it together at the end. It's like, it's good to see good stuff, and then it's an obvious flaw versus like, well, we're just completely outclassed.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, for sure. Like if you can get ahead against these teams, give them like some trouble, I can see that glass half full. But yeah, I mean, the last two games against two tanking teams, I mean, the Bulls are going to be bad this season. They've finally done it. They've finally blown up the team. We'll discuss that in a bit. But just, I'm glad they took care of business. That's what good teams do. Mm-hmm. And that is something that mediocre teams don't always do. They lose to bad teams every once in a while. And the Toronto Raptors have the opposite problem. They are taking care of business against the bad and the mid teams. They've been very good at the bum slayers and mid slayers, but they have been very bad against the top teams in the Eastern Conference. So especially, we'll discuss that in a little bit. But the homestand ends after this, unfortunately. But kind of mixed results. Not going to say that it was great, but I'm glad that they did take care of business. Now we got to get to the first order of business. We got to talk about Jakob Poeltl and his, quote, imminent return, excuse me. And that could mean anything. Yeah. Imminent, what does that mean? That's just a buzzword. It means soon return. But what can you expect? Like, I have no clue what to expect here because the last time we saw him, he was really sort of worn down by this injury. Yeah. Like, it definitely affected his performance. What do you think? Like, if you just had to guess, do you think he's going to come back similar to last year or more like we saw him this year?
Well, they're going to slow play it, hopefully, right? So it's like maybe they'll give him a 10-minute, a 15-minute, and slowly ease him into it. And hopefully that kind of NBA action doesn't immediately re-aggravate his back. I think it'll be closer to what we saw earlier this season than he did last season, because last season he was playing some of the better ball of his career on
the best ball of his career for sure. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
He was averaging 15 and 10 for a good little while. And so that's a high standard to come back to hit. So I would expect it to be closer to this, but it'll be interesting to see how that changes the way the Raptors are doing stuff, because they've gotten pretty accustomed now with, 25, 26, whatever games that they've been without him, to playing this small ball kind of lineup and making those adjustments. And it'll be interesting to see how he works back into the fold.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that a lot of people, I've heard people saying, I get it. First of all, people are disappointed. People Like, why did they give him this contract? All of that kind of stuff, which I think is fair, like totally fair. Like, I get it. The contract situation is not very good.
Yeah.
But then they'll retroactively go ahead and say stuff like, it's like, this guy sucks. Last season, he was really good. Like, he was legitimately really, according to the advanced statistics, and I know that a lot of people don't put a lot of credit into those, but he was far and away the Raptors' best player in terms of advanced statistics. And what I'll say is that I was a believer in Scotty even during the lean years when he wasn't, putting up amazing stats. I stuck with him. I was like, this guy has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And he improved in a lot of different ways year over year. So I believe in this guy. And I think that he is the best player on the Raptors. But last season, just in terms of consistency, Jakob Poeltl was the most consistent Raptor game.
Yeah.
He was always good. And a lot of the time he would always come in second. I would do all of the player evaluations. He would always come second, which is like just a credit to him.
Yeah, definitely.
So he's not a bad player if he is healthy. And I think that, like what you were saying, 14.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, over a block, over a steal, 60% shooting. He was good last season.
Exactly. He was very efficient. And decent, good, like what'd you say, second best impact number, sometimes best impact numbers.
Best EPM, best DPM on the Raptors that season. Simply just like he would having like a good center makes a big difference, especially on the defensive end. And they really, I think that he would be, if we got that version of Jakob Poeltl back onto the Raptors, I think that they would be jockeying for number one in the conference, just based on what I've seen from the other players.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what to expect though.
No. And I mean, hopefully this whole experience of missing him has been a real good growing opportunity for the guys on the team by allowing like CMB to get these starter minutes and Mamu to play more of this like 5 role and all that. Like, hopefully that's made them overall stronger as a team, as it so often does when like a player goes down, because this didn't kill them. We thought it kind of would. If you looked at the way he was last year, you're like, oh, you want to tank? Sit Jakob, and then
exactly.
lose,
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So losing him for like 20 plus games and you're still in the hunt for top 4, top 3, like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's true. Obviously there's like a butterfly effect situation where if you change one thing, other things change. Maybe one player has a good season at the expense of another player. Like, you can't be absolutely sure that somebody being in a lineup or not being in a lineup isn't going to change things fundamentally.
Yeah.
However, I mean, he is a good player, and the more good players you have on your team, generally the better you do. I mean, it's a pretty simple formula. Even a toddler could understand that. But I think that it'll be additive. The Raptors really could use some of the things that he's really good at. Like, he's really good at setting screens. He's really good at finishing around the basket. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that he can do on the court that the Raptors could really use. So I'm excited to see him, hopefully against the Pistons, because I know imminent.
Yeah.
And they had him questionable for the game against the Pacers. He ended up not playing, but I don't know. I'm very curious. But maybe we can sort of parlay this. Segue this into our next topic, which is Trayce Jackson-Davis. Because if Yak isn't 100%, we know Colin Murray Boyles and his thumb has left open another sort of hole for Trayce Jackson-Davis to maybe come in and fill. What were your thoughts on his first game?
Honestly, I mean, like, right away, he got dirty, got a steal, got an assist, like, pretty good immediate impact. And I thought he blended really well with the team. Like, something I really liked was, of his 10 rebounds, I think 8 of them were offensive. Like,
eight of the 10 were offensive. That's right.
And he was he's got a really good second jump in the same way that like Scotty and CMB do, right? Where, you know, that's how you get offensive rebounds, is by being able to get the second jump in there. And very good at fighting for boards, not fouling, like not going over the back, not like he's able to just get in there and be dirty, and adding some vertical spacing, it seemed like. I see a possibility of growing that kind of synergy with a guy like Scotty, guy like, maybe get Emmanuel quickly to start throwing a few lobs once in a while, because you've got a guy with a bit better of a catch radius and a guy who's not afraid to really like go up for these balls and dunk everything he can, right? What'd you think?
That's absolutely correct. Like, no, for sure. Like
Yeah.
the lob threat, the Toronto Raptors don't have one.
No,
I mean,
no.
Scotty Barnes, you can lob the ball up to him, but like that's not how Scotty is athletic. He's athletic in different ways. He's not the guy who's going to go catch the gazillion foot high Dwight Howard kind of dunk.
I think Ochai was leading in the finishing of alley-oops, and I think it's Grady after that.
There you go. And a lot of the time it's Scotty who's throwing the pass, right? So it's not like there's a reason why he's not being the recipient of an alley-oop pass, but for sure. And like the fact that you can add some vertical spacing, you can add somebody who can jump and contest shots. And the thing about him being 6'9", people are like moaning about him being 6'9", being 6'9", being 6'9". If you watch him play on the court, he doesn't look that small. Like he's not like some little panty waist guy, a wing or something like that. The guy is built like a center, and it's going to look like he's a center when he's on the court, unless there is like a true giant, like unless there is a guy who is like physically much larger than him. Then it'll be a little bit of a struggle. But against like other lineups, like especially against that Indiana team, like Indiana has a problem right now. That's why they went and got, we'll mention this, we keep alluding to this future segment, but we will talk about how the Pacers went out and got like a really good deal on a guy, Zubats, who is like a force in the paint. But him not playing yesterday, it really showed why they need that guy, because Jay Huff, he is a good shot blocker on like wings and guards and stuff, because he's so vertically athletic, but the guy is too thin. He just gets pushed out of the way for boards. And Micah Potter, like, I don't even think he's like probably not an NBA player if I had to guess. So like that is one game where a guy like Trayce Jackson-Davis is going to look really good, just kind of as a bully with his size and physicality. So I don't know if you can expect that every game, but
no, and it might be a different, like if Duran's playing for the Pistons, like it's going to be a bit of a different story. That guy's a monster. So like that's obviously going to be a struggle for whoever plays. And honestly, like keep Yak's minutes low against him, because he could just bump him in the back.
Down, right? Like a guy who's like really physical, like Jalen Duran, like that guy is, I keep wanting to say Duran, like Duran, but like
French it up. Who cares?
Yeah. But he's a really physical guy. Like he's strong. He has powerful post moves. You wouldn't want Jakob Poeltl like blowing a gasket in his back like the moment he steps on, because Jalen Duran like lowered his shoulder or something like that. But I don't know, like, listen, if he's going to be like that for the rest of his career, I don't know what to say. I think that having him play low minutes against Jalen Duran, I'd like to see it. I know people are saying wait until after the All-Star game. The guy's had the whole season. Like he's had like a very long time off. So maybe it's time. Maybe now is the time for him to do it. Maybe he's healthy now.
If he's cleared, right? Like if there's no real reason to keep him out, give him some minutes and see how he feels. Like he has to get acclimated. And like, don't be surprised if he's timid off the hop. Like if he's a little tentative going into rebounds and stuff, like that's natural coming back from an injury, right?
Yeah, I just hope that nobody gives him the forearm in the back.
Yeah.
Like that is so common when you watch basketball or you play basketball. Yeah. Like if you're going up for a rebound or, you have your back turned to somebody, they'll just take the forearm and just jam it right into the small of your back, just like out of habit, like to try and like push you around. Right. And that's not very, it doesn't feel very good if you have like a very bad back injury. So I don't know how we wandered back into the Jakob Poeltl discussion. But
can't get away from it.
Trayce Jackson-Davis. Yeah. I think he is a useful defensive player. And a guy who can, capably play the 5 and play backup minutes where you're not going to be pulling your hair out. What you might pull your hair out is the finishing. He does not have good touch. Yeah. That is one thing that you have to watch out for, because it will drive you crazy. It's kind of like Mobo, except Mobo never dunked the ball. Like that was his issue. Trayce Jackson-Davis has bigger ups, and he's stronger too. Like he can go through contact. So yeah, they need to polish their lob skills when this guy is in the game.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about the mythical topic that keeps coming up and keeps being pushed further and further down the timeline? That stops now. We are going to talk about the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
The Eastern Conference has changed. It does not look the same as it did even 1 week ago. And there are a lot of teams, like we saw one during this homestand.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Bulls?
I think they need a guard or two. Maybe maybe 3 or 4. I don't know. Yeah, like seeing the switch up they've done, which has been long overdue. They made some interesting moves, some interesting bets and stuff like that. That's cool. But yeah, a lot of what we saw, and I think where a lot of fans' impatience came from, was some loading up by some teams that are above us in the standing. You know, they're prepping for their playoff run, and some people were upset that the Raptors did not really prep for a playoff run in terms of the moves that they made.
Yeah, I can see that. When you're good, like if you've been bad for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
when you start getting good again, you want to kind of just lean into it. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But we have to remember this is like the first season above water. Like every season prior to this, at least in the Darko era, has been underwater. Like they have not been a good team. And Scotty Barnes is entering his prime.
Yeah.
But he is at the beginning of his prime.
Mm-hmm.
Even, Brandon Ingram, he is in the middle of his prime. Manuel Quickly is near the beginning. RJ Barrett, same thing. Only really Jakob Poeltl is kind of at the end of his prime.
Yeah.
So this is a team that does not have, like, the window is opening. It's not closing. This isn't a time to make big risky gambles.
Yeah.
This is a time where you consolidate in a smart way. You try and take future assets, and if the right deal comes along, you spring on that deal. I don't think it's a time to try and shortcut to greatness. Like trading Jakob Poeltl, that sounds tempting, but nobody is going to take him without you giving up.
It'll cost you a lot. Exactly.
Massive amounts.
Yeah. And when you really when you do look at it, and I'm of the mind that to win a championship, you need a top 10 player on your team. Right.
Yeah.
And you can have somebody who's maybe regular season, they're a top 20 player, and then they kind of elevate themselves. I don't think Tyrese Halliburton had that impressive of a regular season, but he really elevated in the playoffs, and that can get you there. Right. But if you don't have that player, you have to constantly be looking. And when you think about it, do you need 3 or 4 picks to trade for that player? When somebody asks out or is ready to leave, you need 3 or 4. So would you really want to just spend one to get away from Yak to be slightly better, maybe get to the second round? I understand why that's not the ethos that the front office is going for, right?
No, I see what you're saying. But even if you're not going to go get the number 1 top of the line guy, how good would Desmond Bane look on the Toronto Raptors?
Yeah.
How good would that guy look?
Yeah.
Other than the being a dirty piece of crap,
he just goes a little crazy sometimes. And
but in terms of skill set, if you find the right fit and they are a all-star right on that cusp, I think Bane, he is that caliber of player that I wouldn't mind giving out picks for. Right? I think if you find the right player and you bring them into your building and you give them a starring role. They can grow into that. So I get do you see what I'm saying? But it has to be the correct deal. They had a deal that they're willing to part with, because it was a deal that was going to be expiring soon. Oh no, wait, it wasn't. They gave up
the second to get rid of Ochai, or
no, I'm talking about the Orlando Magic.
Sorry. They gave up Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who had 2 years left on his
something like that.
Yeah, so they needed to get off of that, and they traded 4 or 5 picks, 4 in a swap or something.
I think it was 3 or 4. Yeah, it wasn't quite that much, but he elevates that team because he does something that they really need, and they were willing to pay the price to do that. And it's another player that can grow with their core. So I don't mind that. that kind of trade. But with the Toronto Raptors, I just don't think that trade was on the table. I don't think that anybody was going to be offering like a quality future piece for your rotation in exchange for Jakob Poeltl / Emmanuel Quickly. I just don't think that deal was there.
Yeah, and you honestly, like, it makes sense to keep the powder dry when you look at somebody like if you want to talk about the teams that did buy in, ready for their playoff run. Like if you look at the Cavs who bought into this, they really accelerated their window by bringing in a 36-year-old Harden. And Donovan Mitchell is like, hasn't re-signed yet. Like, is this their last couple of years with Mitchell? And
this is them pushing the chips in,
right?
This is them saying, we'll have Mobley, but the Mitchell situation is on thin ice. We don't know where we stand. Let's strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Also, Jarrett Allen, there's been rumblings that they want to get rid of that guy.
Yeah.
And what is the reason? Oh, probably because they don't want to be paying him.
Their salary's crazy. Yeah.
After Donovan Mitchell is gone.
Yeah.
Right. Why would you want to pay Jarrett Allen after Donovan Mitchell is gone? They'll probably keep Mobley and maybe try and build around him or rebuild around him or whatever, but they're trying to win now.
Yeah. And
that means, sorry, Darius Garland, let's bring in James Harden. Let's just friggin' do this. And I admire that.
Yeah.
That is like a team who is in the middle. They're like, this is not, this is the end of the line for this core. We've got to win now.
Yeah.
And they saw James Harden. They knew that there was something there. James Harden is having one of the best seasons, well, maybe not of his career, but like he is looking really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
And what you have with James Harden is somebody who can help unlock that layer of Evan Mobley that you've been missing. His offense has dried up a bit this year.
Yeah.
His pick and roll, like when I did, when I did obviously Evan Mobley's not Embiid.
Watch his video. I watched it today. It's really good. Go to Raptor Shack on YouTube. He has a whole video on what's it called?
I think James Harden is 2 steps ahead or something.
2 steps. Okay. Yeah.
Because it's just
video.
It's about him as like how he dictates his future in the NBA and how he dictates like the game and stuff. Right. And when you look across like for his assist highlights, it's just pick and roll mastery with Joel Embiid. And it's like, you're going to put that with Evan Mobley, and Evan Mobley is going to probably get some of the easiest looks he's had of his career. Garland was giving him great passes. This is going to be even better. So now you're unlocking other parts of your roster. I think it's a very interesting movie. Some people were down on it because Harden's got this kind of reputation, whatever. They're like, he's going to leave anyway, blah, blah, blah. You're trying it. You're going for it. Go ahead. You've got the best guard duo in the East now. What does that do for you? You got it.
This is a team that has juice. This is a team that, like, listen, if Harden flames out, you gave it a shot. Okay. There's a lot of the time you go from a 5% chance to win the championship to a 15% chance to win the championship. And that is like, you're tripling your odds of winning the championship, right? Because you made this move. You're still a dog, but you've made significant progress towards your goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Garland has been dealing with an injury, but they're so cagey about this injury stuff. Like, is it honestly, like, what is the extent of his injury?
Yeah.
They were saying that he'll be back this season and all of that kind of stuff. So like, it was very shrouded in mystery. And James Harden is definitely like a step up from Darius Garland. No offense, because I like Darius Garland.
Oh, me too.
He's a good player.
Which now there's an interesting part of like element for this is as we sit in 5th and they sit in 4th, the Cavs are a likely first round series for the Raptors, right? So how do you think that the Raptors match up now with the Cavs? Beat them 4 times this year, but this is a different Cavs team.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't have to, or the Raptors don't have to play the Cavs again, because this is going to be a better team. But if they play them in the playoffs, I mean, they could be, they're likely to be within the same range, like 4th, 5th, 6th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. I don't think that the Raptors are matched up particularly well with them. James Harden,
they have a lot of guard talent.
Yeah, Mitchell are like, they're all world ballers. Like those guys are killers.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the playoffs, but like
you need to get to an elimination game with them. James Harden in the last 4 game 7s he's been in, he's averaged 10 points per game on bad efficiency. He dries up, he disappears. Donovan Mitchell does not have a good playoff history. He's not been able to take a team.
It's more so. It's more
it's not definitely not bad, but he hasn't he's not a super, he gets a lot of points, but he hasn't been like riser where it's like this guy's dragged you to the conference finals, right? But against us, those are 2 guys who can shoot and 2 guys and like roll. I'm just picturing the Raptors going under screens against James Harden or exactly, right? Either. And that's immediately just like,
or trying to switch and getting it screwed up, or like having one of Mamu on an island against one of those guys. That's going to be pretty tough. Let's talk about some of the other teams. So obviously we talked about the Bulls selling their starters. One of the players that they sold was Nikola Vucevic, who went to the Celtics. And I am not a huge Nikola Vucevic fan. I think he kind of stinks. But I get why the Celtics are interested in him, because they've been doing similar kind of stuff with like Luka Garza, where he's like just the kind of like leveled up version of Luka Garza. Like he can shoot, he can put the ball on the floor, run the offense. He sucks on defense. And they're just saying like, listen, this guy is a tool in our tool belt that we can use maybe in a playoff series where it's advantageous for us. Kita is a good option. He's kind of like Beauty and the Beast. If you need one in one matchup, you can put that guy out. If you need another in another matchup where you want more space or something, you can use the other. I get why they did it, and I think it has more utility for their team than the guy that they gave up, which is
Simons
spot here.
Anthony Simons.
Anthony Simons.
Who was like, he's a hit and miss guy who can give you big scoring bursts off the bench and stuff, and he was providing some of that enough to at least get like some value up because his value was kind of low. But Coach Roach says there's a massive fight between the Hornets and Pistons.
Oh, that's going on right
brawl. Now. Oh my gosh.
Those guys both have kind of bad attitudes because
they got Isaiah Stewart, they got Jalen Duren, they got I just hope Jalen Duren takes out Miles Bridges like permanently or something. That would be totally
in Minecraft.
Yes,
takes him out permanently in Minecraft. That is really interesting. That'll be a very good game to watch, because this is actually incredible timing, because we're talking about the Eastern Conference. The Hornets, they're protecting a 9-game win streak against the Pistons, but it looks like it's going the Pistons' way, unless,
big suspensions could be possible, right? Yeah, suspend
Jalen Duren. He's too mean.
Beef stew and Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham just cause.
Yeah, exactly. He's mischievous.
Yeah.
1 game for mischief. The Raptors play the Pistons next. But that is, the Hornets are a pretty scary team. They have beaten the Raptors. I mean, I don't have to tell any Raptors fans, some of those losses against the Hornets were particularly brutal. But it's kind of interesting to see a team kind of take a step. Unfortunately, it's in the East, but they've been good. Who else made trades? Oh yeah, we've talked about Harden.
The Knicks made a minor getting Alvarado to cover for Miles McBride being out. So that's, like they're already pretty loaded up. Like this is already their window anyway. They've whooped the Raptors every time they've played. They're not somebody that you want.
They're on a hot streak. They beat the Celtics. They've been looking really good. They went down, and then there was like this whole like drama about the whole team and Cat and stuff, and now they've won like 8 of 9 or something like that. But they went to Alvarado, who I don't think is as good as Miles. Not Miles, excuse me.
Deuce McBride. His name is Miles.
McBride. Yeah, and he is actually a really good shooter and a really good like bench scorer. He's like a typical 6th man guy who gives like you a lot of offense. And Alvarado is different. He's more like kind of like Jamal Shed kind of, but maybe not as good defensively. but like sneakier, and like he's a spark plug, but in a different kind of way. It was kind of to lessen the sting. Like, I think that McBride is a better player, but I think that was a pretty decent pickup by them. The Pistons get Herder. They trade away Jaden Ivey, so that saga is over. Kind of felt bad for Jaden Ivey. He was like perma-benched because he doesn't play the right way. Like, he's kind of...
He needs a bit more on ball and freedom with the ball, and it's like the fit with Cade doesn't really work because of that. And then he finally starts getting some play, and then what Magic player... dove on his leg, Cole Anthony or something, dove on his leg and took him out. And
also Danis Jenkins has kind of popped off, and so
he's won them some games. Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
What they did was they traded in their like, the potential top 5 pick anymore, blah, blah. No, just get us a decent role player, Kevin Herter, because we're rolling. We want to do some noise in the playoffs. Let's see how far we can get in the weak East, right? As everybody's trying to look at it that way.
Do you know Herter is actually very similar to a player on the Raptors, Grady Dick, where he is like, will this guy shoot close to 40% in a season, or will he be like the worst shooter in the league? You don't know. It's a complete mystery whether Kevin Herter is actually going to be a good shooter or not. So maybe that's a good career comp. That's pretty much it, but I am kind of interested to see, like we were mentioning, the Bulls are going to be bad now. Like we saw them play. They're not going to be good. So the Raptors get to play them a couple more times. I think that was the first meeting, if I'm not mistaken, that they just played against them.
I think so,
And so that probably will help the Toronto Raptors out a little bit. And also they got all of the Charlotte games out of the way as well. So that's pretty good. If they're going to be good now, the Raptors don't have to play them. And also the Cavs too. They don't have to play them either. So
exactly, right? So that's like you have no more games against the Hawks. That's whatever. You've got more games against the Bucks, and it'll be interesting to see, because there's been up and down whether or not Giannis is actually going to be returning, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he wants to. If Giannis comes back by the time, because I think they've got a game against the Bucks in their last month or second last, but it'll be interesting because
they could shut him down for sure.
Yeah, right. But they're always trying to keep him happy. Let's kind of see where they are. If they shut him down, cool. Should be a much easier win, but that would suck because if he does play, that turns one of those like, easy win to.
Well, here's one. Go to Kalshi and take a look at whatever is losing. Okay.
Right.
Is he
what's
going
his
to
return
be playing the rest of the season or not? And then whatever is the most popular, just do the opposite.
Yeah.
Because he's probably ginning up some, nutty scam to pull on all of his fans.
Yeah. Which is that whole thing. It's it's further breaking the fake nice guy veil that Giannis has had, right? Like, it's like he just eats Oreos, he just whatever, but it's like these little things. The ladder throwing thing, which everybody made a big deal of.
Smacking his
teammate was crazy.
That's crazy.
That was like the camera's not supposed to see that. What the heck was that?
I have not seen that in a hot minute. That is nuts. And oh man, I'm so glad the Raptors didn't trade for that guy. Right,
which,
guys? Who's with me?
Could you imagine the Raptors traded like 4 picks and then he like gets caught in a gambling scandal like worse than Kawhi?
It's not gambling. Remember, it's what do they say? It's like odds based speculation or something.
Speculation markets. Yeah,
that's so much different. Yeah. Well, Adam Silver, knowing him, if he came to the Raptors and did that, he'd be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool. Just defraud all of your fans and
picks. Yeah.
The fox is already in the hen house. So, well, speaking of the league and speaking of Adam Silver, we got to talk about the All-Star weekend, which is rapidly approaching. It will be this week. And I'm excited to see Scotty Barnes. I'm curious whether CMB is going to play in the Rising Stars game.
Yeah. Sure, hope he does for his sake, but his thumb is hanging on by a thread.
Hey, if Dame can shoot in the 3-point competition, CMB, man.
Yeah.
You got to do the Rising Stars.
Yep. Oh my, and it's going to be like, we've already seen the replacements happen. You know, Ingram, he's not going to be there. That sucks. That's a bitter pill to swallow, but only European players are getting injured. Well, not European, international players are getting injured. True. So it is what it is with that. But yeah, like, it's going to be interesting. Coach Darko is going to be coaching Pascal and the international guys. That's super cool.
I love that.
And he's coaching the best players he's ever going to be able to coach. He's got Jokic, Wemby, Luka, no Shea, which sucks.
Hey, well, why set your sight so low? Maybe all those guys join the Raptors.
That's true.
You know, if Jokic passes it to Wemby back to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
I want to live in this delusion.
Don't be so pessimistic
that you live in. Yeah.
It should be super fun to watch that. But one thing is, like, is there any drama between him and Siakam? Remember when he was
that was my immediate joke, where it was like, oh, he's gonna be coaching Siakam, get in the corner. You go in the corner, and that's where you take your threes, and that's what you are.
Yeah, but exactly.
Like, I mean, Pascal is very mature, right?
Yeah.
So and I'm sure that they'll work it out and all that, but like, that was an ugly situation. Like all those breakups,
the selfishness stuff.
Yeah, that
remember
was all
that. Like, I don't know.
So weird,
he
man.
Said selfishness, but like somebody said it.
I mean, Masai said selfishness or something in his post-season thing, which I'm sure he regrets, like, phrasing it that way. But it was crazy. It kicked off like a very negative seeming exit, and I remember like, their preseason, there was like a clip of everybody in huddled, and then Pascal was like 2 feet outside the huddle with his hand lightly in there, and it was like, oh,
it was like, well, a lot of breakups aren't the best, but I mean, it was not one of those. It was, I feel, more on the front office in terms of how they handled it than how he handled it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he was always, from my recollection at least, just saying, like, I want a contract extension. Just give me a contract extension. And the Raptors got cold feet. They didn't want to give it to him.
Yeah.
And so he, they let him sort of the thread run out on that and trade him at the last minute. And I get it. Like, it's not going to feel good if you're traded by the team that drafted you.
Yeah.
They're going in a different direction, all that sort of thing. But there's been a lot worse breakups.
Yeah.
There's been teams. Yeah. That was pretty light in terms of how badly things went.
And it did work out great for Pascal. He got a finals run out of it, everything. I do think that as much as like these things kind of fizzle out, Masai has done right by these players in the situation that he sends them to, like OG going to be able to get paid in New York and be on a good team. Like, that was able to happen. Right. But, yeah, I mean, like, it either way, it'll be fun to see all these Raptors, former Raptor Norman Powell, Siakam, all these guys like
finally
taking the court together.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's very cool, and vindicating as a Raptors fan that we've been screaming for years. None of these guys are good. I swear these guys are really good.
It's like, well, then why do they suck?
Yeah,
it's like maybe because they're playing the worst bench that has ever been assembled. Like a bench where the best player on it for 3 or 4 seasons was Chris Boucher, a player who is now collecting DNPs and was just salary dumped.
Yeah.
So,
which, shout out Boucher, love the guy.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But exactly, like, when you look at other teams and you play other teams where they've got like a Payne Pritchard or something coming off the bench that just kills you, it's like, okay, now you understand why that was an area of weakness for the Raptors.
No doubt. So why don't we take, I mean, is there anything else about All-Star Weekend that you're excited about? I'm not a huge All-Star guy.
Yeah.
It's not a real game, but I am excited to watch Scotty Barnes play in it.
Yeah. For me, it's a lot different when you've got like a vested interest of your players being in it. Like, I didn't really watch last year's because they didn't have anybody there. The round robin thing it's like interesting.
They're trying.
Yeah. Right. Like they're trying to mix it up. I'm expecting the international, like, obviously they're losing Shea and Giannis, 2 of their better players, but they still have so much talent. I'm expecting the internationals to just kind of wipe the American teams because as good as all these players are, they kind of did like a young players on one team, like a in their prime older players on the next team, and then the international guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's fun that like Scotty and like one thing I'm watching, right, is Scotty and Cade playing together again. That's fun.
He has a very fun game. Like even like against the Pacers, it's like not an exhibition game.
Yeah.
But that play where he's gesturing to the camera, talking to the camera, and then he gets the like backpedaling dunk.
Yeah.
That is like
points at the camera as he's an entertainer. It's great.
Yeah, I think that would translate really well to the All-Star game. Hopefully they let him handle the ball and have fun and do stuff and not just glue him to the bench.
Well, do you remember, like, I think he might start given the size that's on his team. True. Like it might be him and Chet starting, but like, I don't know if you remember his first All-Star game, he had like 11 points or something. And he was
it wasn't bad.
He was hitting walk-up threes. Like he was just like dribbling into above the break threes and nailing them. And he outscored and outplayed a lot of the starters. So that was a good, and hopefully he's got a little more of that. Because it's obviously like, what was it, Fred's All-Star game where he like played like 4 minutes?
Yeah.
And then like, because he was like kind of hurt and it was just like really disappointing because you're all very excited for him and then you just like don't see him.
Yeah. That was disappointing. But I think Scotty has a chance to like kind of wow some people because I remember like when I was a kid, like a long time ago, I remember watching Kevin Garnett in the All-Star game. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. Like he's really big, but he's handling the ball and he's doing all this cool stuff with it. And that stuck out to me as like, he was like this really talented, but big guy. And I think that he could have that kind of impact. Cause let's be honest, like, I don't think a lot of people have really watched him play, to be honest.
Honestly, no. Cause people say stuff like he hasn't improved since it's like, you are not watching at all, dude. He has added so much, even just in like the last 20 games, he's added the patient step throughs, like around the basket. And now he's had back-to-back little transition spin dunk stuff. Like he's constantly improving. And I don't think people are paying attention because people don't watch us as an out of market team for them. They're not on national TV. Like, apart from once or twice, I think they've got 2 this season because of that flex game.
Yeah, I remember that. They were one of the only games on TV.
Yeah,
and I was it was like I think it was pretty bad. I think every time the Raptors show up on national TV, it's like to embarrass themselves. I remember they got a national TV game or something in this one of the tanking Darko seasons, and I remember I used the the Goof Troop meme where she's showing him her house, and it's like, damn, you live like this. Like that was the Raptors on national TV. Just like completely S the B. Yeah. So hopefully, when the Toronto Raptors next season, when they get 10 national games because they, went to the finals.
Yeah. But the one that they did, they had that one national TV game recently where they were giving Scotty all the DPOY love and stuff, right? So that was great. Like they were highlighting him. They did like their cool little wall where they break down his defense, like John Wall was breaking it down. Like
and they had an amazing first half, and Brandon Ingram was cooking, and then they lost in the second half. It was against the Magic, right? Was that the game where they blew it against the Magic?
I think so. I think that's what it was. Could be wrong, but right. Either way, the more people get to see him, the more people start to understand, because you'll see opponents. I mean, he does still have bad games, right? So there will be some times where you'll see like other people be like, what? This guy sucks, blah, blah. It's like you're seeing one game, but then other people, they see it and they start to get it, right? Because it's very hard to like contextualize a player to somebody if they don't watch them.
No, absolutely. And they'll say, just a bunch of, bunkus, like just stuff that just doesn't make any sense. So, hopefully he's able to show out there. Why don't we take a look at the upcoming schedule? Because we have been talking quite a bit about the teams in the Eastern Conference. Let's take a look at some of the teams that they will be facing Let me just quickly share the screen here. So obviously, Detroit Pistons, that's going to be a very big game. I'm excited to see how the Toronto Raptors, because you know how bad they've been against the top teams.
Yeah.
They have not played against the Detroit Pistons. So I don't know like how they're going to match up. And it's easy to say, thought canceling cliche. Well, they're a team that is a top 10 team. Therefore, the Raptors are going to be disadvantaged. And I don't know if that's the case, because I think that the Raptors have an advantage with Scotty Barnes, because they don't really have a guy that can really match up with him. Of course, Jalen Duren, like he's going to be big in the paint. That'll be difficult for Scotty.
Yeah.
But they don't have
so they've got Asar Thompson, but I think he'll mostly be on, and I think he'll mostly be on BI to try to have somebody who's got pretty active hands to try to like stop his dribble kind of thing. But exactly, like a lot of these guys are too small. They're big wings.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, apparently Isaiah Stewart there was quite involved in the brawl, so he might be suspended the game.
True. Isaiah Stewart is a guy that like theoretically you could put on Scotty Barnes, because he does have pretty quick feet. They're similar sized. So
good physical, good rim protector, right? But he might not even be in that game if he gets suspended. So that might be a freebie there. But like
he could also beat the crap out of Scotty Barnes probably. So you don't want him in that game.
It's an exploitable thing that they should look to do, because that's another trend I've noticed Scotty improving on, is his like actually trying to exploit mismatches and them trying to get the ball in his hands when he does have them. There were too many times last year and stuff where it was like, you have a 6-foot guy on you, dude, put him in the basket. And he's not doing that as much this year. He's realized that he can get downhill, and which is honestly another benefit of Yak missing so much time, is Scotty's had to adapt to getting himself downhill on his own volition versus some screens and stuff, right? So, that'll be interesting. I think they have a fighting chance in that game.
I think so too. Obviously, Yak being able to play, that would probably help against Jalen Duren. Like, I'm just like, all roads lead back to that guy, because the Toronto Raptors have had a lot of trouble containing large and physical centers, which he certainly is. So very interested in that matchup. After that, they've got some sort of cream puffs. They will be on the road against the Bulls. The Bulls, you know, they got some interesting players back, but they're going to be worse. Like, they haven't really played together. And I'm not exactly sure whether Josh Giddey is going to be playing in that game, because he was missing against the against the Raptors the last time they played. Then they have the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks still, you know, very confusing, like when and how Giannis is going to be involved this season. So I don't think he's going to play, though.
They just signed Cam Thomas.
Oh boy.
So there's that to worry about, which is like, he's realistically, weirdly, their third best guard behind Rollins, and like, I hate him, but Kevin Porter Jr. has been having a decent season.
He has been pretty good.
And he's like second or third or first in steals. Like, he's been pretty active defensively. So okay, they've got Cam Thomas now. I don't really know what that does to you, but I'm not too worried about the Milwaukee game. The
Milwaukee, the reason they picked up Cam Thomas is because they are going to have a ton of shots that need to be put up. And, you know, maybe he can hit enough of them that he looks good and they can sign him to a small deal or something. I don't know. I think it's worth the gamble, because he was considered a player at one point, but I think that he has pretty decisively shown that he is not the kind of guy that deserves to take, what was it, like 15 shots a game? It's just not a recipe for success.
Yeah.
Then they play Oklahoma City in Toronto. So that'll be very difficult, especially with them having won the first game. I think the Thunder are going to be probably pretty pissed. Do you know what the situation is with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
I mean, he's ruled out for the All-Star game. So I don't know if he's actually playing. obviously no Shea would be,
It'd be pretty
but it's
big.
also like a trap game at that point.
Yeah.
Like they've got so many good players. Like
Yeah.
they've like Case and Wallace can hurt you. If they play through Chet more, I mean, Scotty kind of did quite well
Owned
against
him.
them last game.
Yeah.
He was definitely owning them, but
And Hartenstein might be back. Like this is all pretty
Right.
far into the future because this
Mhm.
is the 24th we're talking about, which is like, you know, almost like 3 weeks away from now.
yeah,
So like anything could happen between now and then. And after that, it doesn't get easier because they play the Spurs at home as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
So that against two of the West's best teams, if not the best teams in the West, and maybe even in the league, the Spurs are like the cream of the cream. I was about to say, but they are a good
creme
team.
de la creme.
Creme de la creme. I was doing the English version of that for some reason. It's late, folks. Yeah, and then they play the Wizards after that, which should be a pretty easy game.
Which
We
I
could
mean,
talk a little
they
bit about what
smoked
they
us
did.
before, but yeah, the Wizards
yeah,
had a
true.
pretty interesting. I mean, not just deadline, kind of like early season. They have kind of been like, look, we're going to start trying to win games now. We're going to try to scoop up a good pick. Yeah. I mean, like next
They're doing
season.
an Ingram.
Yeah. They're just like, everybody wants to say we're doing an Ingram now. And it's like, you guys, like the media, hated it when the Raptors did it. And now it's in vogue and everybody's doing an Ingram and it's a genius move. It's like, because you're a trendsetter and the Raptors nailed it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a fan of this. I know there were a lot of people, like I said, like, I think this is a bad move.
The Anthony Davis one?
Yeah, the Anthony Davis move. And people were saying, like, did you see what they gave up for him? They didn't give anything. It was like these two crappy picks. It's like, well, they're still picks. And
a lot of cap space.
What is the plan?
Yeah.
What is the plan? You have him for one more season, and then he's a free agent. He has a player option.
Yeah.
After that season. Are you going to re-sign him? Does he want to re-sign with you?
He apparently was not happy about the move.
No.
Like, yeah. Look, if he has a good first 35 games, maybe they can flip him for something to a team that believes if he's like not injured, but the risk of him is like he could play good 10 games injured. And then
would they get 2 picks back for him, even if they're bad picks in the final year of his deal?
That's true.
It just seems like the thing I was saying, like everybody who asked me, like when I was saying like this is a bad deal, they would say, no, it's not. Look at how much they gave up to get him. Pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Why did the Mavs give him up? The Mavs are in the exact same spot as the Wizards are. They are at the beginning of a rebuild. They gave him up because why do you want a 33-year-old guy who can't stay healthy on your team?
Yep.
You have Alex Sarr, a guy who plays the same position. Like, of course, you can play them on the floor at the same time, but like, what is the point here? What is going on? Why are you doing this?
And the step is not there enough too, because like, do I really like the defensive prospect of the front court of Alex Sarr and Anthony Davis? That sounds great. Awesome. Cool. Trae Young, you get a little bit of pick and roll with Anthony Davis, see how that goes. But like, do you think they're ready to make we're jumping to the playoffs? We're going to do something that's too soon. So
it's too soon.
It's quite like, a buy-in. It's
like, look what happened with the Warriors and their 2 timeline thing. It's just young players need seasoning before they can take the next step.
Yeah.
They're trying to do something kind of like who did this and it was really successful. Like, I mean, I guess the Pistons kind of did this, but they didn't do it by bringing in like this, you know, really overcosted guy, like a guy with a max contract. They went out and got like smart veterans on smaller contracts and then said like, okay, let's try and go for it. And the players who were there were ready to take the step. I just don't see this working. I don't think it's a good deal.
And it made more sense for them to be on Zubats if they're trying to build something.
Exactly.
Which I don't remember if it was they had a rumor they were in Zubac or if it was the Pacers were rumored to be AD. I don't remember exactly how that shook out, but I would obviously take Zubac over AD with the amount of years, the amount of health that they have and stuff. Like Anthony Davis, when healthy, is a better player.
Yeah.
But
That's
like,
right. But you're like, take whatever you think about Anthony Davis, like whatever you think about him as a player, and just divide it by 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're going to be getting him for that amount of games.
right.
It's like pretty much a given. Like, don't go into things expecting something. It's like James Harden. Don't expect to get James Harden on your team and that he's going to play the rest of his career with you.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? He's shown that it's not going to happen. Same with Anthony Davis. Why would you expect him to be healthy? Anyway, I don't think it's a very good. I don't know how we got on this topic, but that's a good rant. Maybe we can talk about something kind of a little similar. Like, we're talking about the Wizards, so we are kind of talking about tanking.
Yeah.
And this is a bugbear of mine because as soon as you get into the latter half of the season, that's when teams really start to shut it down. And I think teams want to give it a go at the beginning of the season to see how things shake out. Maybe they're a surprise. Maybe it's fun. Maybe they have some potential. Maybe the young guys can show that they're actually big time players. And then you don't mind if you are, in the 10th or 11th or 12th spot. But then once the grim reality sets in where you're like, this team isn't doing anything this season, you go, okay.
Pull the ripcord.
It's time to euthanize this team.
Which I do think that all these teams have like a threshold of games where they're like, oh no, we can't get past 15 wins now because we don't want to be past 28 wins by the end of the year because then we'll be too high, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing that comes with this time of year is just the whole conversation of tanking. That just
hate it.
Every podcast becomes just how do we fix it? How do we fix it? How do we fix it? How do we fix it?
Because it's something that people, for whatever reason, have these really big opinions about. And I've never figured it out. Like, if the Washington Wizards are bad, why do you care? If you're on some other, like does them being bad, they don't just lose to your, like the people you're playing against, like the people you're jockeying with, they lose to you too.
Yeah.
They just lose to everybody because I guess they've beaten the Raptors this year. So I shouldn't be talking about them. Let's pick the Pacers. There we go.
When we were tanking, we beat the Magic 2 times in a row, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But again, as a team that I was a pro tanking for the Raptors because I was like, this team needs more talent.
Yeah.
Screw it. The season's wasted. Tank. But I think a lot of that comes down to people's inherent idea of fairness in sports.
Right.
And
absolutely.
you go
and trying to win and trying to compete and trying to be this and that. But guys, you can sucking happens. You are bad. There are a lot of teams. There would be a last place team if there was no draft picks. One team would come in last because they're bad. The idea is that you don't have these like misery franchises that are stuck in the mud forever. If you're at the bottom, one of the generational prospects eventually will roll into town and put on a Cavaliers jersey, who are garbage for like a decade, and elevate your franchise to a perennial contender. That's cool. That's good. That's what should happen. If you are a bad team, you need good players. Guess what? There are good players at the top of the draft. That it's a problem that solves itself. And of course, if they want to play around with that formula a little bit, be my guest, but it's not a huge friggin' deal.
It's better now than it was because the Cavs got the first overall pick 4 times in the 20. From if you consider
there was the
counting
Bennett
LeBron,
draft, there was LeBron, there
Kyrie,
and
Anthony
Wiggins. Bennett. Did I say Bennett? Oh yeah, and
Bennett
Wiggins.
and Wiggins. So they got it 4 times before the tanking rules changed, right? So it's better now than it's been because you don't have these repeated teams. Like the Spurs keep picking high. Okay, they've got a lot of picks. That's how they set it up. That's how they built it to be like that. What I realized is that the loudest complainers about the tanking devices and how all the tanking is happening is other tanking teams who are jealous that somebody is out tanking them.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Nets fans go, how dare Utah do this? And then I see Utah going, well, and they're like, no, we're just ass. We're not trying to tank. Like, and you see them going back and forth. And I remember this when the Raptors had to play that one game against the Sixers last year, and we both sat everybody, and it was like a tank off. And I was pissed that they were resting Quentin Grimes, who was healthy. I was like,
and he
how
was
dare
the guy,
you? He was averaging
the
like
guy
25.
that was like the surprise for them that season. And they were like, shut it down.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, you can't even play Quentin Grimes at this point. But there
was this hilarious, sorry to cut you off. Before I forget, there's this guy who writes for the New York Times, and his name is David French, I believe. And his idea was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. He basically said, let's see if I can find the tweet, but while I do, I can explain to you what he was thinking about. So he said, well, why don't we just change it so that the teams, instead of the teams at the bottom getting the draft pick, what about the teams just outside the playoffs? The best team that didn't make the playoffs would get the top pick. And he's like, isn't this a splendid idea? Then it would be more of a competition and the good teams would get the picks and not, it's like, that would be the nightmare scenario for the NBA.
That's
you
like
would
a
have
6-year-old
teams,
came up with that.
Exactly. It's a 6-year-old's like, I'll turn it on its head and then it'll be all better. It'll be much better than it was. If you had teams who just missed the playoffs getting guys like friggin' Cade Cunningham and a Cooper Flag and Dibanza, like these super duper stars.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you're going to want to walk into the 8th seed or whatever it is, the 10th seed, to have a chance to get into the playoffs? Or are you going to be like, oops?
Yeah, if that was the case right now, I would be screaming at the Raptors to tank to get Darren Peterson. I would be like, who wants 5th place? Tank it, because like honestly, and
tanking takes effort.
The current standards, the current standings right now, you would just be giving the Charlotte Hornets a top pick who has had a top pick for how many years. So like, what are you doing at this point? You would be giving it to teams that are slowly crawling out of the tanking already. Like,
I'm not joking when I say that idea that he came up with was this one of the stupidest ideas in terms of solving this problem that I've ever heard. And this guy is like a purported intellectual who writes for the paper of record.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can you not see how bad it would be if you are even like have a hint of being in the middle and not being the top team? You're going to say, screw it. And then just try and fall out of the playoffs. It would be a downward jockeying position for everybody who's currently in the playoffs that isn't one of the top seeds. It would be insanely bad.
And then a team that is just bad, like the Pelicans, right? Who's not really trying to be bad. They're just bad. They've got good players, but they're bad. Wouldn't be able to get better because they actually can't win enough games to get better. So they're like, there are teams that are just bad.
It would be like a spin cycle of just the best teams in the league, just constantly rolling through, like dipping in it. It would be so stupid.
Yeah.
Just please, just keep it the way it is. The tanking, just how it is right now. Just keep it like that for 20 years. Then after 20 years, you can change it. How about that?
It's already not rewarding the worst team. Right? Like they're already not winning the top pick anyway. What frustrates people is that these other teams keep jumping with like 1 or 2%. But it's like, okay, so then how do you fix that? You can't really do that without doing something crazy that the players union would never like agree to in the first place, right? But like it sucks to get jumped by a team. Absolutely hate that. You commit to tanking.
I didn't mind when the Raptors jumped up to 4
that was
years ago.
That was
I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty good.
We got our luck. We got our, that happened. But like, it sucks to fall back 2 spots and then somebody who made a terrible decision, like the Mavericks made the worst trade ever and then got rewarded. And it's like, obviously the conspiracy theories start when that happens, but the Sixers gave out some really bad contracts at the time. Embiid's health has been great. That's awesome. Paul George is taking drugs. That's another thing. But they were screwing themselves, and then they get jump up.
Yeah.
DJ Edgecombe.
Whoops. Yep. you got this generational star player. Congratulations.
Yeah.
This is also a stacked draft.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if the Raptors got Con Knippel. Yeah. I remember people telling me in the comment section of one of my videos, I'm like, this guy's good. Like, I wouldn't mind him. I wasn't as high on him, of course, but they were like, well, why would we get him? We have Grady Dick. I think I've told this story a number of times, but like, man, how good would Con Knippel look on the Toronto Raptors?
Oh,
that guy would be a beast on the Raptors.
He's one of the best shooters, or it would completely prove the theory that people can't shoot in Toronto.
It's a 4-point game. The Hornets.
Oh, really?
Evened it up with the Pistons, so
this is for their 10-game streak, man. What a fun team they are.
Yeah, they are a fun team. Regrettably, we're gonna hate them eventually. It's always nice when they're coming back up. Oh, isn't that cute?
Yeah,
they've been bad for so bad. Isn't it nice that the Hornets are good now? I guarantee you, next season we will hate them.
100%. Every feel good team gets that. Like people
the
felt
Thunder.
Good about the Thunder for a minute, and then it was like they're the devil, and it's like even like people supported the Magic. They're like, look at these guys, and then now it's like every chance possible to crap on the Magic, people are doing it. Like it's like,
I know. Well, Desmond Bane is not helping that team in the likability the favorability rankings.
Yeah.
The Wemby one was just so stupid. Like the IQ one was pretty bad too. Like he just flipped. He did an OG Anunoby on him, but like it was completely unprompted.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a weirdo.
It's exactly every time, and every player just looks at him like, what the heck? Like, what are you doing?
He's like a dime store Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
He like picked up all these kind of dirty things from Dylan Brooks, but he doesn't have the same flair.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the same panache.
Showmanship. He does it, and then he looks confused, like, why people mad at me? I'm just playing tough. I'm just matching energy. It's like,
yeah, well, he looks like an excited kid when he does it. Like he's got this like stupid looking grin on his face, whereas Dylan Brooks is just obviously very weird.
I played hockey with a kid who was like that, and he would do just like impulsive stuff. He threw a water bottle from the bench and hit a kid in the head, and then he turned at me and with a big smile, like, huh. And I was like, you're getting suspended. Like, what was that? And he's like, was that bad? I'm like, what? So maybe Bane is lacking some kind of self-control mechanism or something.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, there's one last thing we can talk about, maybe really quickly, because we're over an hour now. We're giving you guys freebies here. I hope you're appreciating it. Kawhi's judgment, because as you recall, at the beginning of the season, Adam Silver said to the media, we're going to let the investigation run its course and we will pass judgment around the All-Star break. So the pressure is on. The investigation that they have been doing into this matter has, almost reached its conclusion. Will the NBA be the banana republic of the and I'm not talking the store, I'm talking the pejorative term for a developing country that has a lot of corruption, of the major sports leagues? Or will they make the correct decision and give Toronto Raptors the Clippers next available 3 first-round draft picks?
I've lost all hope in it. There was a period of time where I was like, there's too much here, justice has to happen. But like, I thought like right around the deadline, I was like, a Harden trade request, Kawhi doesn't make All-Star. Like I put that in a tweet where I was like, connect the dots, everybody. And then they name Harden to All-Star, and the Harden's just like, no, they just weren't going to pay me, and I just blah, 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 right? So maybe it's nothing forthcoming with that, but it just doesn't sound like they're going to put the hammer down, because like he's obviously the richest owner.
The whole pushing it back was a bad sign. Yeah, that's not good.
Because it cools the tension about it. And
exactly. This is a back burner situation. When you put it back there, you push it back, then people lose interest. People aren't as salty about the cheating. People are like, whatever. And then they'll give some stupid slap on the wrist. Like they'll get Steve Ballmer to plant the trees that he said he would, or some dumb
one photo
BS.
op. And they're going to announce it on 5 o'clock on a Friday and just call it there. Like, Kawhi's in a weird position now where he's like, okay, I thought we were doing something. I guess not. I thought we were building something. And now he's like the kid left over going, where did everyone go? Which is like, that's how it feels, man. That's what you did to the team that was really good that you walked away from. So
true.
A little dose of his own medicine, but it is interesting because now it's like, where does Kawhi end up? If they're starting over with these young players, he's going to be a big name, and blah blah blah. Teams are going to
so well right now. Did you see the 40-point game? That was
he's a maniac,
sick.
man. He's playing some of his best basketball. It's insane.
He had like 4 steals or something like that in that game. Like the guy is, I mean, we've seen it. The guy when he's at the peak, there are not many players who are approaching that. Yeah. So I don't know how it's going to shake out there, but I'm ready to be disappointed. I am just ready for the NBA to let me down. They're not going to do anything about this Kalshi thing. They're not going to do anything about this Kawhi Leonard thing. It's just going to be a joke. Like, is the NBA willing to let itself become a joke? That is the question.
No, and like because of how they're very business forward, obviously, right? Like, the deals, blah blah blah, right? But it's like they've made these massive deals where it's like, Steve Ballmer builds the stadium, they host the All-Star game, all this stuff there, right?
So much for the NBA.
Exactly.
To be quite frank, if it weren't for the fact that he's a shady dude, he would be like, he has done a lot for the NBA. Let me just put it. He rescued a franchise that was on the brink of disaster, turned it into like the spending tons of money that the other teams around the league are using. Like the what's it called? The tax. He's been a perennial tax paying team. So all the other teams get money from that. That's good for the league. And the fact that they caught him doing some seriously shady stuff, that puts Adam Silver in a really bad position. They're going to make him kill the golden goose so that he can continue, so that the NBA can continue to not be a pariah. This would be a huge hit to the credibility of the league if he just lets them get off scot-free.
But also I think that he's afraid of it, even just like admitting any wrong. If you just turn around and go, we investigated it, nothing happened actually. They're actually completely above board, nothing wrong. That is how I expect them to try to save their image of this, to just go, nope, actually nothing happened. I don't know what that guy was.
Like they did with Terry Rozier.
Yes.
They did the exact friggin' same thing with Terry Rozier, where the guy did something shady and they were like, well, we did an investigation. Everything's above board. Everything's okay. He's ready. And then the FBI is like, I would be interested if there was a class action lawsuit by somebody somewhere, starts up a lawsuit against this and brings it to court so that there's discovery, so that this stuff can be put into the hands of a judge instead of Adam Silver. Like, these guys are not, they are going to try to come up with something to save this. So
because
I'm really interested to see.
Adam represents the owners, right? And as much as like I kicked around the idea of being like, okay, there's 29 other billionaires who have a vested interest in this being fair for the way that they can get players.
Right.
But also, as you've said, they're paying the tax. There's 29 other billionaires who are benefiting from this guy's existence and could have other deals with him and stuff like that. And billionaires like billionaires is what it is, unless they've got a full disagreement like Dan Gilbert and
like where they're actually
Matt Ishbia.
like each other.
They hate each other because they're competitors in their outside of the league.
And they're
business.
both not very nice guys. Like my kids are always like, well, wouldn't the bad guys, like, why are the bad guys not teaming up to fight the good guys? I'm like, have you ever met a bad guy?
Yeah.
they suck.
They're bad to
they're
everybody.
Awful. They're mean to even the other bad guys.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like what the situation is with Dan Gilbert and Matt Ishbia. They're just not good guys. Like most billionaires. I'm not going to say all because I don't want to sound like a communist or something, but most of them are probably not very nice people.
Yeah. So like if that's who we're expecting to hold Bombers' feet to the fire, I don't like. Nah. I would love for there to be something but it feels like it'll be very fake, like very like surfacey, like here's a fine. Like if they do say you did anything, it's like we made a mistake.
Oh no, a fine. He'll just have to, make Microsoft 12 or something. But it's getting pretty late. I just completely lost my train of thought. You know what? Maybe that's a good time to end the episode when I just completely blank on what I'm about to say. All right, folks. Thank you for listening to the Raptors Report podcast. I'm your host, Julian. This is Steve. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on YouTube if you're listening. Check us out on Spotify. All of these episodes, if you want to listen to one of the older ones, they're all uploaded to Spotify. At least the most recent ones are. So check us out there. And let's go Raptors.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.